What does it take to make a piece of legendary art? For one, it may mean a life spent slaving away over a desk. For Toshio Sako, it meant just that, and a pair of boxing gloves. This is the story of a man who didn't just draw boxers for a living, but went into the ring to become one himself. To show the world that the hand which holds the pencil is the same hand which can deliver a knockout blow. He was the mangaka who went into the ring, not just on the page, but in real life. Our tale begins not in a bustling manga studio or a gritty boxing gym, but in a quiet barber shop. Born in 1973 in Shimonoseki, Japan, Toshio Sako was a product of a familiar pattern. After high school, he made his way to Tokyo, not to pursue some foolish dream, but to acquire a respectable skill: barbering. For years, his life was the familiar sound of scissors snipping through hair and the quiet roar of clippers as he went about his steady and secure profession. He was good at his job, had a steady hand, and was meticulous in his attention to detail. He was in his late 20s and had his life together, a skilled trade, a steady income, and prospects for the future. But beneath the veneer of this mundane existence, there was something else at play, something extraordinary in the man beneath the mundane life. The same hands that were skilled at arranging hairlines and shaving faces had the itch to create worlds, draw characters, and craft tales that were filled with action and adrenaline. The mundane life of the barber was stifling him, and he was about to make his escape in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. At around 28 years old, Sako did what most would consider unthinkable. He put down his scissors and walked away from his career. With no formal training, no industry connections, and zero guarantees of success, he decided he was going to become a mangaka. It was a monumental risk. To learn the craft from the ground up, he volunteered as an unpaid assistant to another manga artist, absorbing every technique he could. Imagine the sacrifice. He went from a respected professional to an apprentice working for free, all for a dream that might never come true. He poured all his energy into creating one-shot stories, honing his skills on short, self-contained works, including one about karate, and nod to a passion he'd had since childhood. He was starting from scratch, a decade behind his peers who had been drawing since they were teenagers. It was a gamble fueled by pure passion, and for a while, the world had no idea if it would pay off. For years, Sako worked in relative obscurity. Then, in 2005, came the breakthrough, a one-shot manga he submitted. A dark and brilliant story about a genius gambler caught the judge's eyes. The title was Usugoi, The Lie Eater in English. It earned an honorable mention at the prestigious 48th Young Jump Grand Prix. This was the validation he needed, the first sign that his audacious gamble wasn't a mistake. That honorable mention was the key that unlocked the door. A year later, in 2006, Usugoi was picked up for a serialization in the popular magazine Weekly Young Jump. This was his moment. The barber from Shimonoseki had officially become a professional manga artist. His years of unpaid work, disciplined self-teaching, and betting on himself against all odds had finally led him to the big leagues. But this was only the first part of his dream. Usugoi was a sensation that captivated readers with a brutal, high-stakes world of life-or-death gambles. The series spanned 49 volumes, a testament to its incredible popularity and Sako's relentless work ethic. It was a masterpiece of psychological tension and intricate plotting that would eventually spawn a live-action film. Sako had made it. He was a titan of the industry. He even paid homage to his old life in his art. Fans have often noted the unique and sometimes bizarre hairstyles of his characters, a subtle wink to his years as a barber. He had achieved his first impossible dream, but as his mind created some of the most intense fictional battles ever put to paper, his body was craving a real one. While deep in the weekly grind of a hit manga, Sako started to feel the physical toll. He described the life of waking up, going straight to his desk, and collapsing on the floor to sleep right next to it, only to get up and do it all over again. His weight was increasing and his body ached. He realized that to have a long career as a mangaka, he needed to forge a stronger body. This was not just about going to the gym. For Sako, it was about rekindling the flame that was lit inside him during his elementary school days. When he first entered the dojo to learn karate, Sako's passion for fitness was just as intense as his passion for storytelling. He started training with a professional mixed martial artist named Hideo Tokoro. He fell in love with capoeira, a Brazilian martial arts discipline that involves elements of dance, acrobatics, and music. Most intensely, he fell in love with boxing. He was not just working out, he was training like a professional, pushing his body to the limits. For Sako, the line between his two passions began to blur. His life as a martial artist started to bleed directly onto the pages of his manga. After Usugoi concluded, his next major series, Batoke, was a deep dive into the world of capoeira, the very art he was practicing. This story follows a young girl's journey of liberation through the powerful dance-like combat style. Sako wasn't just researching a topic, he was actually living it, breathing it, and drawing it with an authenticity only a true practitioner could achieve. But his passion for boxing represented the ultimate fusion of his two lives. Even in his late 40s and early 50s, an age when most fighters have long since retired, Sako was stepping into the ring for amateur boxing competitions. And here is where the story gets even more incredible. He even competed. While he didn't seek a professional career, he participated in Oyaji Fight, a competitive league for older fighters in Japan, even winning matches. The man who drew legendary fighters had become one himself. With this real-world fighting experience under his belt, what was next? The answer was to bring it all home. In February 2025, Sako launched his newest series, Genikasuri, focusing on the world of boxing. The story follows a former pro boxer who, after a career-ending injury, seeks revenge on a corrupt system, not with his fists, but as a promoter in the sport's dark underbelly. Genikasuri is infused with authentic pain and politics of the boxing world that he now knows firsthand. If you reached to this point of the video, I would like to thank you and just to remind you to make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Toshio Sako's tale is not merely one of a change in profession, it is a tale of a philosophy of living. It is a tale of a man who refused to chase between his mind and his body, his art and his sport. He first conquered the world of manga, crafting a tale that would be remembered for its genius. And when he could have easily taken a rest, he stepped into the amateur boxing ring, testing his limits through determination and toil. He is a testament to a philosophy that mastery is a product of dedication to one's craft, whatever form that takes. The focus he honed as a barber, the art he perfected as a mangaka, and the discipline he acquired as a fighter are all intertwined. Toshio Sako is not merely a mangaka who boxes. He is a living embodiment of a philosophy that the greatest art you will ever make is that of your own life, and that it is never too late to begin a new chapter or step into a new ring to fight for your dreams.